Another Friday comes around and it's another weekend of heavyweight clashes, and they lead what there is to talk about on the Walker's World of Sport blog. G'day, my name is Tim Walker and welcome to this Walker's World of Sport video blog this afternoon, the fourth episode of the blog. We're not going to waste any time as usual, plenty to talk about. We're going to start on a different note today though, a little bit of cricket today, and the ICC Champions Trophy has started in England and Wales, and last night India, too good for South Africa. They beat them by 29 runs. Their batsmen were terrific. India making 7 for 331. South Africa all out for 302. Tonight, Pakistan and the West Indies. And tomorrow night, Australia and England. A big game for our boys over there. And that is at Edgbaston in Birmingham tomorrow night. Michael Clarke is out though, so that has made the job for Australia all the more tougher. England, they will be looking to bounce back from what was a disappointing 2-1 series loss, it must be said, to New Zealand on their home patch, so they will be looking to win the Champions Trophy on their home turf. Fawad Ahmed as well, he is the young Pakistani asylum seeker who has come to Australia, played a few first-class games for Victoria, and he has been given a chance to play for Australia on their Britain tour in the next few months, and he is very close to an Ashes selection. Alright, that will do us for cricket for the time being, but certainly tomorrow night watch the Aussies against England. They need your support. We are the defending champions of the ICC Champions Trophy. The French Open, it reaches the pointy end this weekend, and a big night coming up tonight. Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic. Does it get any bigger than that? Is there a better rivalry in sport at the minute than Nadal and Djokovic? Last year they played in the final at the French Open. Nadal was too good in 4 sets, beating Djokovic. Tonight though, it is a different story. Djokovic though is considered the outsider again. Nadal is certainly coming into some good form. He beat Stan Wawrinka in the quarter-final. Djokovic beat 35-year-old Tommy Haas in the quarters. The other semi-final sees Jo-Wilfried Tsonga up against David Ferrer, the fellow Spaniard of Nadal's, and this will see a new French Open finalist. Tsonga has made an Australian Open final, and David Ferrer has not made a Grand Slam final yet, so certainly a big chance tonight. Tsonga took out Roger Federer in the quarterfinals, and Ferrer took out fellow Spaniard Tommy Robredo. So a big night over there at Roland Garros, and it was a big night last night. Maria Sharapova beat Victoria Azarenka in 3 sets in the semi-final, and Serena Williams beat Sara Errani of Italy in the other semi-final. So they will clash off tomorrow night in what promises to be a mouth-watering weekend of French Open tennis. We move on now, and we're going to take a little bit of a different path because tomorrow there is a big day of horse racing up at Eagle Farm. It is the Stradbroke Handicap Day. Now, for those who don't follow horse racing regularly, this is the biggest winter racing day in Australia at the minute. So tomorrow it's the Stradbroke Handicap, and it's also the Queensland Derby and the JJ Atkins Stakes. So big day of racing. Certainly if you are a keen horse racing follower, this is a great day to sink our teeth into tomorrow. It's a domination of the 3-year-olds, and it's been a standout crop of 3-year-olds this season for horse racing in Australia, and it just shows how strong the horse racing industry is. These are 4 very good 3-year-olds that we're going to see tomorrow. We'll see the favourite Sizzling won the Queensland Guineas last week. We'll see Epaulette along with Your Song and Better Than Ready. Buffering, My Quest for Peace ran in the Melbourne Cup last year. Streamer, a very good horse. Linton has run in a Melbourne Cup before. Fontalina, Anthony Cummings is the trainer of that, and it is just a fantastic field tomorrow, so we're certainly looking forward to that. If you are a keen horse racing observer, that is a day not to miss. So Eagle Farm races tomorrow. It is the biggest day of winter racing in Australia, no doubt about that. In the other big races, we see the Derby. That is also a very good race, very good crop of 3-year-olds there as well. That's all for racing though. We're going to move straight into the AFL now. And tonight, Essendon and Carlton. I mentioned about a clash of the heavyweights. So this is as heavy as it gets. Essendon and Carlton at the MCG. Big changes for the Blues. They welcome back Chris Judd and Joe Danaher. Great to see him playing for the Bombers. Tomorrow, we see GWS take on Geelong. Should be a pretty comfortable win for the Cats, but the Giants, they need to get back to some good tackling pressure. Tomorrow afternoon, we see Adelaide take on Sydney. The Crows will be looking to bounce back following their disappointing, heartbreaking loss to the Dockers last week. And on Saturday night, we see the Gold Coast Suns take on North Melbourne at Metricon. St Kilda and West Coast, very critical of West Coast during the week. They take off to Etihad Stadium today, and they'll be playing on Sunday afternoon against the Saints, and on Monday, Melbourne and Collingwood. Will it be Mark Neild's last game as coach of Melbourne? Who knows? Melbourne and Collingwood on the Queen's birthday, public holiday Monday. We move on to NRL now, and we'll have a look at the fixtures for this weekend. Massive weekend of NRL, of course, following on from the Origin during the week. That was a fantastic game. Paul Gallen will miss, though, for the Sharks this week after he was suspended for throwing a few punches. The New South Wales captain and Cronulla captain. Fixtures this weekend: Eels take on the Roosters, Knights and the Dragons, Cowboys and the Bulldogs, Warriors take on the Sea Eagles, Panthers take on the Tigers, the Storm and the Sharks at AAMI Park on Sunday night, one to watch out for. The Raiders take on the Broncos. Rugby Union, short weekend this weekend, only 2 Super Rugby games and a couple of test matches to go along with that. The British and Irish Lions, they beat the Force 69-17 during the week. This weekend, the Brumbies and the Rebels, they are on tonight, so certainly watch that one if you get a chance. Sunday afternoon sees the Force take on the Waratahs. The Force will be looking to bounce back to some sort of form on Sunday afternoon at home in front of their home fans. The Lions take on the Queensland Reds tomorrow night. That's the British and Irish Lions, so another tour game for them. And then New Zealand and France on Saturday afternoon. Basketball, San Antonio have beaten the Miami Heat in Game 1 of the NBA Finals Series today. Fantastic effort by Patrick Mills. He, of course, is a part of the San Antonio Spurs team. We love seeing our Aussies do well overseas. Soccer, the Socceroos, they have got another World Cup qualifier next week against Jordan and then Iraq the week after. So get behind our Socceroos. 2 games left at home. They need to qualify for the World Cup. And just quickly this weekend, the Canadian Grand Prix is on for the Formula 1. So hopefully Mark Webber can keep up the form that saw him grab 3rd place on the podium in the Monaco Grand Prix. That's all we've got time for now. Don't forget to check out our Facebook, YouTube and Twitter pages. And coming up on Sunday, we've got a very special golf show. It's dedicated to next week's US Open, so make sure you stick around for that. Now, Facebook, Walker's World of Sport, it's there, and you can see the links on this video and on the blog. You can see the YouTube videos, obviously, the Twitter account, and don't forget the blog. That's what we need you to read. Hope you enjoy your weekend of sport. It is a great weekend. As always, there aren't too many poor weekends of sport. This is another one this weekend. Looking forward to it. We'll see you in a couple of days with our very first special episode.